home. We are WNST. Tassel, Baltimore, AM 1570. We are live at Koco's for the holidays. They turned the holiday music down just a little bit for us, but the holidays are turned up. We got our Raven scratch-offs to give away. Our Maryland Crab Cake Tour brought to you by our friends at the Maryland Lottery in conjunction with our friends at Jiffy Lube Multi-Care. Today is the first of many eggnogs, crab cakes, friends, conversations, colleagues, local people. It's already off to a great start. I haven't even had any eggnog in my coffee yet, but I will. That's what I need. I need eggnog and a coffee, Marcella. We're out here at Koco's in Lauraville, and there's friends, residents. Ricig has been my friend for 40 years. He lives 3 blocks away. He is my co-host with a K. Ricig lives in the neighborhood and frequents Zeke's Coffee. Zeke's Coffee has a long history with my station and show, having served coffee at all of our road trips before we sent bus trips off to New York and Pittsburgh and playoff games and all that. Thomas Rhodes is here. He's a founder. Last I was with you, I think you had little animals that were civets that were eating beans that they were pooping out. It's a long story. We'll get to that in a couple of minutes. But that was about 15 years ago. And Ricig, you have this coffee mafia that you gather with every Friday, correct?
I mean, it's not. I'm just an attendee to this great kind of table that Thomas and Dave Pugh kind of run every Friday morning at Zeke's. It's awesome. It's open. It's great conversation, great sports talk, great music talk. What else, Thomas?
Some politics.
A little bit of politics
Stupid
creeps
stuff.
in. Yes. Some pools that we run that occasionally in there, which are fun too. So.
Never is an inducement to wager. Never. How are you, man? Happy coffee to you. Thanks for. So I'm an idiot. I hit you. Ricig hits me, and I wanted to get Nick out. And I had a guest that I lost today, so I had to fill a little bit. Ricig was coming out. I had a friend that just had a family issue, couldn't make it up here right now. And loves Koco's, by the way, but I'm not going to out this person. But so like a couple days ago, I'm like, I got to get some more people out from the neighborhood. And she's doing the Santa thing here. And I said to Ricig, and I missed your coffee thing last week. He puts a picture up at like 11 o'clock every Friday. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, God, why don't you tell me it's 7 a.m. or the night before? Or, hey, can you make coffee?
Right. I often remember it at the last minute myself. So.
Well, I want to come and have coffee. So tell me what this
Thomas
coffee mafia thing is. It, by the way, it's good to see you again.
So
man.
A couple of my customers that have become close friends, one of them is my garage mate with our motorcycle habit.
Okay.
Bob Kleinschmidt and Dave Pugh and I used to do it prior to the pandemic, but that screwed everything up. So we sort of put it on hiatus, and we finally got back to it when everyone could get their schedules right. We used to do it on Thursday, but it didn't work out, so we did it Friday morning. And
Friday feels right.
It really works well.
Start the weekend, you know.
Start the weekend and wind down, complain about the work week.
I love coffee, dude, so you don't have to tell me. You know, I mean, I promote Royal Farms. Mm-hmm. Royal Farms coffee is the one for me. That's better than he's kicking lately, but nonetheless.
Yes.
By the way, he doesn't drink Royal Farms. I see him whenever he's pictured with fans. He's not drinking, and it drives me crazy on behalf of Royal Farms. I do drink Royal Farms coffee, but I have the Fueled by Zeke's thing. I know of it from being a city resident who attended the farmers market every Sunday.
Yep.
And I think that's the first time I saw you or became aware of you.
Fueled by Zeke's.
Yeah, my friend Emily worked for you down on the stand there 20 years ago. And this is when
17. But
this is sort of when like bougie coffee was like Starbucks had kind of happened, and the coffee bean in like this even like the book Pour Your Heart Into It I had read and all that. So my coming to it was the Starbucks Guccification of what a dark roast was, because I never drank coffee as a kid. Mm-hmm. I'm pretty caffeinated. Ricig will tell you. He's known me since I was 15.
Yeah.
I was pretty caffeinated from birth. I mean, I get this naturally, just the way I'm born. So the coffee thing, doing this thing with the shaky shake, I have to go half decaf, half. So whenever I make it at home, I'm half and half because I love coffee. I love dark roast, and I love coffee that tastes like coffee.
Fantastic.
All right, here it is.
Look at this. Telltale Dark. Holiday roast. Well, how do I know what the hell these are?
Well, on our 1 pound bags, they have descriptions like. Can you grab that?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and need a little card with it.
This is that special thing. We don't really do half pounds anymore, but like on our other bags, it's described here.
Hold on, what is the Koco's blend? Because I came in here, I made the mistake yesterday texting you, and I'm like, you know Marcella, right? I'm like, duh. Like I knew your shack was at the end of the street here. I didn't realize what an operation it's become, because I remember your original homestead was on the other end of this block.
Yeah, it still
right?
is.
Yeah.
That's the wholesale side.
But that was way smaller when I knew you 15 years ago, right?
hell yeah.
It was a little.
One cubicle of
Yeah, you were a little place.
Now it's the whole warehouse.
And I know of your cafe, which isn't there, but is more like a mile up the road. Maybe less than a mile?
4/10 of a mile.
It's four blocks. Okay. I knew she poured your coffee when I was the idiot and texted you and thought, duh, of course. I've seen her with the cup here, with your Zeke cup. And she's going to bring me a cup. But what is the Koco's house blend like? If you were to do a Nasty Nestor blend, I'd say this to my cannabis partners at Curio. When we have a Nasty Nestor strain, do I get to come out and cultivate? What do I do here? Because I would love to have my own blend.
What we built was a coffee for what this place is.
Okay.
So it's not specifically a dark roast, and it's not specifically a light roast. It's a South American and an African coffee that we blend together. It's more, I don't want to say I don't want to insult Koco's, but it's sort of
It's
more
diner coffee.
No, it's better than that. It's more like it works with going out to eat.
Okay, gotcha.
It's probably a better way to say it.
Okay, it's an after-dinner coffee.
Yes.
What's funny here is it says right on here, it may be 5 o'clock somewhere, but not here and not now. And the funny thing is I think about, what was it, 5 o'clock coffee? Is that what it was called?
8 o'clock.
8 o'clock coffee. Was it Acme? Acme or A&P? A&P or something?
The grinders at the counter? At the
8 o'clock coffee is what it was called. Why was it called 8 o'clock?
8 o'clock in the morning.
8 o'clock in the morning, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And every grocery store at the end of the register had the grinder.
I do remember this when I was a kid. AP. Yeah, man. A&P. A&P. How does a dude get into coffee? Like, what I would say to you, I really didn't drink coffee other than late night driving on the turnpike. You know what I mean? Like that kind of coffee. Like,
Gotcha.
to your point. And I didn't drink coffee for pleasure the way I'm about to, because Marcella's bringing me a Zeke's cup here. Look at this. See, when you want coffee for pleasure, this is what you do. You know. So
That's right.
she put something's creamy in here. I don't know what it is. Might be eggnog.
Might be some eggnog.
No, that's not eggnog. I don't know what that is. That's got something. That's got a little kicky kick in it. I think it's got like Kahlua or something in it. But what do you recommend in your coffee? Nothing, right? See, I knew you were going to be all bougie about this.
Tell
me why I screwed your coffee all up. Go ahead.
You're not tasting good coffee. The bottom line is
Tastes pretty damn good to me.
it's short, but it tastes better without it.
This is a little sweet. She put Kahlua in this. She's got some nippy nip in here. Something's going on.
Someday I want you to just have a black cup of coffee and let it get a little.
Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to come to your coffee mafia thing, and on that day, I'm going to drink whatever you put in front of me.
Dig it.
Just same way I just drink whatever Marcella just put in front of me.
Trust in the Thomas, yes.
Dig it. I mean, we have nitro cold brew, like pours like a Guinness. It's this cold coffee. It's made from cold brew concentrate. So when you pour it,
I don't like cold coffee.
Okay.
Yet. I don't like dark coffee yet. I'm like black coffee.
All right. Well, there's
great song, Black Coffee in Bed. But
I learned to drink coffee in the Army,
yeah.
and when you're in the Army, you have to put hot chocolate, sugar, and milk because it's garbage.
Right. Well, yeah, it's bad coffee.
And then I came out of the Army, I just kept doing it. And I got into the business when I started at another roastery before I started Zeke's.
So you started at a roastery to become a roaster to say, I'm trying to get a profile flavor of a bean, correct?
I started at another company. So how I got into coffee is...
That is delicious, by the way. I don't care what you think of it.
I was working in the theater, building sets, hanging lights, stuff like that. And I wasn't really making a lot of money. So my buddy was working at the Daily Grind in Fells Point.
Okay.
And he says, you want a shift? You get a free pound of coffee? And I'm like, bingo.
Okay.
So I started doing it, and I
talk about a real coffee whore. Just work for free. Work for free coffee.
Well, we actually we got great tips down there. It was that was.
I had coffee there often because I had a client that worked on the street down there on the cobblestone. Sure.
Right. So I mean that's where I started, and then
But what did you know about coffee then?
I didn't know jack.
I asked this about, like, literally, I asked this about people who are into whiskey or into wine, who are into weed, who are into food. Like, where's the genesis where you say, I like coffee so much that I'm going to learn about it, learn how to be it, because that's a real different. I did that with sports in my life, right?
Sure.
Like it went from being something that was a hobby to something I don't hate it now, but I don't love it like you love coffee. You can wear out on it a little bit.
I'll give you the cliff notes. My wife and I were not together, but we were hanging out, and we got pregnant. And my boss said, "Do you want a job with benefits?" I'm like, "Yes." So I went to the roasting side, and then a couple years later, he made a decision to.
Get your mic. Here you go.
He made a decision to sell his company, and I personally didn't think it was a good idea. It was in 2004 when buy local was the buzzword.
Sure.
And he sold it from the broom factory down in, I don't want to say the name.
Yeah,
of the
good. It's fine.
To Luray, Virginia, which fell out of the buy local.
Sure.
So there's some other things that happened, but basically at the end, we had no money, and I talked to my wife. I said, I just checked with the bank to find out about escrow. I wasn't big into finances back then, and I found out what escrow in my house was, and I'm like, "Ooh, can I have it?" And they said yes. So I took a second mortgage out of my house to open Zeke's.
A true entrepreneur.
Oh, what a guy.
A risk taker.
And what's really cool is we got $32,000, and I only used $23,000.
So you got to keep a little. Bought a motorcycle with
Put it back a couple.
Oh, probably, yeah.
But anyhow, that's how we opened Zeke's. We were going through the process of starting it, and my father passed. And my father called us Zeke as a nickname. He called the boys Zeke, and when our family got big, he decided to feminize and call the girls Zekas.
Okay.
So I said to my wife, we were going through names, and I said Charm City Coffee Roasters, because we're in Baltimore.
Local, sure, yeah.
And she said Zeke's Coffee. And we went back and forth, and I said, why not Charm City Coffee Roasters? And she said, a dime a dozen. I'm like, you're right. Charm City Cakes, Charm City this, Charm City that. She said, Zeke's is going to be good. It's going to be a great name for it. And look, you don't have to say Zeke's Coffee anymore.
That's right.
I'm getting my Zeke's.
Well, what's interesting to me, as 33 years of doing this, is people like you, and I would put Hugh Sisson into this too.
Sure.
Hugh did beer. And I remember going down and drinking his beer, and I always say it was always flat, it was always warm, it's the way it was supposed to be,
Mm-hmm.
And we argue about it. Now he's got this thing, and I think anybody that follows a passion, right, that they're into something and years later can make it work,
Mm-hmm.
And especially when you're a first mover in a place, because I would think with coffee, 2000 and whenever, pick any time in this century, Starbucks has sort of dominated it, right?
Sure.
McDonald's was trying to, other places are trying to be that other thing. And then there's all of these places I go where coffee has been regionalized now in places like Portland, in Asheville, North Carolina, in hippie community. You go to Missoula, Montana, Rockstar's own coffee thing. That's same thing with cannabis. Same thing with beer, rye, with whiskey,
all of it.
tequila. All of these brands and different things. But the coffee thing that I would say locally for you here, people know what you are and they know you're local, and you've done a great job of getting that. I was in Minneapolis for the Super Bowl like 6-7 years ago. That's the only place I've ever been where the coffee, they refuse to drink Starbucks there. They have it's called Northern, it has but they are ubiquitous there. Mm-hmm. Like when you go there, it's sort of like Starbucks got thrown out,
Yeah, wow.
And I don't want to say you could displace them here, but they never had a presence here to say they were going to be local. And I can't think of anybody else doing local coffee the way you found the spot. You found the spot where people drink this every day.
We're everyman coffee. I mean, we do it for everybody. We do quality coffee that is pretty much affordable for everyone. I mean, obviously, with the pandemic and pricing, it's going up, and we can't stop that. It's just a thing that's happening. But still, we have fairly reasonable prices on our coffee. Our drinks at the shop are good, price-wise. Yeah, I mean, when we started, Zeke, there was only 2 Starbucks in Baltimore.
Right.
And I can't remember where they were. There's a ton now.
Yeah, Yeah, but I would also think that there's a point where you find that angle of being local, and to your point, we are a town of neighborhoods. I mean,
Sure.
Nobody ever comes, nobody ever leaves Baltimore. Ricig came and never left, right?
Me too.
Yeah.
But that's a point of pride and reference, I think. You could have been Charm City Coffee, right? I mean, like Charm City Cakes, right?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
you know, whatever. But taking this on, Union Brewing, when I talk to like the beer companies, these local people with these visions, that's just something in this century. I don't think we talk enough about that, especially in this country. We talk about politics and just how Walmarts have taken over. The coffee is still a place where Starbucks can run it in certain spots, but there's a lane everywhere I go to see local companies like you doing this because you do it better.
Every time we go somewhere, I'm always looking for Zeke's of Philadelphia, Zeke's of Boston.
Somebody sent me to a Gucci spot in Miami.
I love Miami coffee.
Yeah, somebody
Cubanos.
It wasn't a Cubano. It was like it was in what's the Wynwood. But somebody said, dude, like I interviewed a guest 10 years ago. He's like, you like coffee? I'm like, yeah, I love coffee. You got to go to this place. And like destination coffee, you know?
Yeah,
so
destination
what
coffee.
makes your process small batch brewing? Because I see Royal Blue. I see Telltale. Trying them, of course. But what are you trying to accomplish? And I ask this with the beer people.
Consistency.
Yeah.
Consistency.
But your flavor palette.
We go all over.
Okay.
I like dark coffee. I like light coffee. I like them all, but my favorite's dark.
Telltale?
This is one of my favorites.
Royal Blue. What makes it your favorite? What is your flavor profile?
I mean, I don't want to sound weird, but it tastes like coffee.
I like that. Okay, that's good.
I mean, it really just has that coffee taste. This has a smoky taste because it's got an Italian roast in it, and it's got a Guatemalan in it. It gives it a little bit of a sweet taste. Nah, not sweet, but...
See, I spent a lot of time in Jamaica. So the Jamaican Blue Mountain coffee, one of the most expensive coffees in the world. I get it. Sometimes I'm disappointed by it. Sometimes I've gotten it and it's been a little stale. When I've gotten it in Jamaica from like the source and it's expensive as hell, twice as expensive after they had like a rotting thing in the hills there. But that to me tastes like coffee.
The guana. The back guana that fertilizes the trees?
Correct.
Yeah. So good news. Clydesdale Farm, I think it's Clydesdale. Jamaican Blue Mountain, the top farm, we got it back. We haven't had it for a long time. We haven't had access to it.
You have Jamaican Blue Mountain in your place.
We just got it.
So I can come get a pound of it right now.
Not this week. Next week.
For Christmas, even better.
The bags just came in.
My wife's leaving town next week. I'll have it all to myself.
And we got a top. I think it's from Maui.
Guess what I'm drinking?
We got a nice Maui coffee too.
What is it about the exotic part of saying, like, the girls are pretty there and the beach is nice that make the coffee good? It's about hills and mountains, and I don't know enough about the science of this in the way that, like, good grapes are grown in Sonoma Valley, right?
Do you know the Tropic of Capricorn and Tropic of Cancer?
Yes.
Anything in between there is the coffee zone.
The coffee zone, nice.
Yeah, you can't really grow it outside of it. We don't grow it in America except Hawaii because it's there. Hawaiian coffee is basically Ethiopian. Most all of coffee is said to be Ethiopian. There's long stories.
The bean originates from there.
Yeah, Dancing Goat was Cowdy's. He was a shepherd, and his goat would eat the coffee beans and get all jittery, and that's how they sort of legend says it that they sort of. There's a bunch of legends, but if you ever look at the east coast of Africa and Yemen,
Okay.
it's because the Yemenis claim they were the founders of coffee, but back in the day they were together and they.
See, we were kids. It was always Juan Valdez in Colombia, right? I mean, that's what
Exactly.
we thought, you know.
That's it.
Didn't he run Coke?
But the difference, I think he did out of Medellin, if I'm not mistaken.
Right.
But the coffee part of saying this is from Colombia, this is from the high mountains of Jamaica, this is from Indonesia, Java, right? We say have a cup of Java. Java's a place, right?
Yes, it is.
So what makes the beans different there? And give this to me in like Coffee 101.
Okay.
Because you had to learn this when you started doing beans,
Sure.
right?
So all coffee originated in the same area, and then it was distributed out, and different cultivations in different areas. In Indonesia, it's got a lot of ash from volcanoes, so you have that generates different tastes. African coffees are sweeter. They use a lot of the coffee's a cherry. It's not a bean.
Ah,
Ricig's learning.
And
Totally.
And when they take it, like they still pretty much depulp them. Most of the coffee we get's small batch, not like these big
Farms,
Yeah,
right.
they're big. They still do a lot by hand.
Okay.
Or water, spinning the mills. And basically, it's 2 pieces of dowel wood, and they put the cherries through, and it squirts
Splits it. Okay.
the seeds out.
Okay.
And they take all that meat and put it back on the trees as fertilization. So that's traditionally, and now it's being done a lot of other places, was done in Africa, Kenya. And
It's amazing what goes into a cup of coffee.
right.
It's crazy.
A place. Why don't they call it cherries if they are cherries?
Because they're coffee beans.
Okay.
So when a bean comes to you, is it like
Green?
green and raw? Like, is it considered a raw bean?
Yep. And if you were to put that bean through a coffee grinder, it would break the burrs because it's
Hard.
pliable too. So it would squeeze in, but then go. But what we do is we burn it.
Okay.
Everybody burns coffee. A certain big company with the Mermaid burns it too much.
Okay.
There's a certain level. Like this Italian roast. This here is a double.
Let's smell some coffee, shall we, on the show?
Oh,
Thomas Rhodes is here.
a
He is from
little-
Zeke's Coffee. He's giving me a coffee education, Coffee 101. Ricig is here. He is my co-host. We are at Koco's Pub. I'm holding the house blend. This is also this is already ground.
Yes.
I grind fresh every morning.
Yeah.
I gotta have fresh
Yeah.
beans. Yes.
Yeah. So
What's this?
So let's do this first.
All right, we're doing a whole thing here. Go ahead.
This is
I
a
got
light-
biscotti here too from Darabunja.
Total education.
This is a lighter roast. So
I'm not a light roast dude. I mean, I like to smell it. It smells like coffee. It has a little buttery smell.
it's a
Yeah.
it's a little lighter. Now,
Yeah, it's
now
a
smell
little
this one.
buttery. It smells like popcorn almost. Yeah. Now this is coffee here. This is
So that's Italian roast. That's like
Yeah.
a twice roasted.
this is my lane. That's that smoky. This is my lane right here. Yeah.
And what we get to do that a lot of big companies with Mermaids can't do is we can buy specialty grade coffee. They buy good coffee, but because they need so much, they can't get.
You're getting a more specialized small batch. I got you. Okay.
And that was always been our business motto. Not
That's
motto.
why it's better.
We always buy the best, and when it becomes more expensive, then we just raise the price. We don't heckle over pricing. When my broker says it's this, he is my man in the field. Their whole company, they go out to Origin, being
Yeah, sourcing beans is a thing, right?
yeah, they have little suitcases that are coffee roasters that will heat the water once they roast it, and they're insane, but cool because that's what we get.
So how often do you do this sort of research at Zeke's to walk a farm and get on a plane and go somewhere and see how this is done? And I would think a lot of it can be done video and whatever to see where this stuff's coming from. You want to know where your beans are coming from, right?
Sure. So my guy, he's in Jersey now. He was in New York. I talked to him. I used to talk to him like every week. It's not as much now because
You know what you're getting, right?
Well, and my nephews run the whole wholesale side, so they're doing that stuff now.
Okay.
So I don't have to do it as much.
What do you do? Run the shop?
Manage managers.
Okay, good enough. Because you were willing to meet me for a coffee at Zeke's. I know you were.
Who does the marketing? Because the marketing is so great for Zeke's too. Like all this great gear that you could get, and it's very status in the neighborhood to wear Zeke's gear. I'm telling you.
Well, I meant me.
Yeah.
Me and my wife.
I see your bumper stickers a lot.
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah.
That's a good story.
Powered by Zeke's.
Fueled by Zeke.
Fueled by Zeke, sorry.
I was coming home from delivering to Eddie's when they were on St. Paul, and I was listening to NPR, and that day they had a story about pit crew guys, which I thought was really strange. And they're talking to the guy.
Pit crew, the guys who change the tires.
Yeah.
NASCAR, okay.
And he was talking in the Southern drawl, and he was going on. He goes, "Yeah, we keep them fueled up." And I'm like, "So do I." And I went to the warehouse and wrote "Fueled by Zeke's."
Fueled, okay.
I'm giving you way more credit now. That's really good.
That was
These are the stories he doesn't tell on the Friday
I
Mafia
know he doesn't.
event, you know?
I don't know. I'm
I
learning
didn't come
some
do the
history
show at
here.
Zeke's on a Friday morning so I could learn things about you guys.
We
you know?
just talk football, you know,
or baseball,
or baseball,
or
yeah.
basketball.
No,
or
I
hockey.
love
This is
it.
more fun than football right now.
It is for me. It's really
I'm
interesting.
a Penn State fan, so no.
Yeah.
I grew up in Harrisburg.
That's all right.
Yeah.
I like Harrisburg. Harrisburg's nice.
Harrisburg's real nice.
I was telling Ricig here about the sub shops up there use pizza dough for their sub rolls.
Man.
It's outstanding.
Really?
Yeah, really.
You should make a trip.
Oh, I have a little Italian restaurant up there that I love in downtown Harrisburg. My wife and I just it's a little place that's our place up there. We sneak off to. So yeah.
What's
it
tell
called?
me about it.
They have fresh spumoni there. They
it called?
serve real spumoni.
What is it? Because we go up too.
I'm gonna hold on a second. You're gonna make me. It's a family name. It's a man's name. I just don't want to get his name wrong. Sammy. I think it's Sammy. Hold on. Let me make sure it's right.
Sammy's, okay.
Maybe make sure it's right.
Do you spend the night or do you come back to Baltimore?
Sammy's Authentic Italian Restaurant in down. Free plug for you, Sammy, because you're a good man and your boy's a good man too. He and his son. Small. It's local.
What
but
street?
It's on 3rd Street.
Okay, I
It's
used to live on
right
3rd.
in front of the Capitol.
Where our friend-
It's right on the.
Yeah, it's right where our friend lives. Yeah.
What happened was, and this would speak to the internet. If I find a damn picture, I will show it to
Sammy's.
you. Because when I find a picture, you're going to be like, I got to eat at that place because it was outside and there was a fresh spumoni. And when I saw the fresh spumoni, they make it in-house. So they make
Nice.
spumoni in-house. I'm an ice cream guy. Everybody knows that. So I'm like, we got to go to that place. And then I looked at the rest of it, and they're doing, like, legit pasta. This is a real – there's Sammy right there. There he is. All right. Sammy, you're a good man. Harrisburg, PA. There you go. All right, so free, local, just like this. We're at Koco's, by the way. We're doing a Maryland crab cake tour. I don't think he has a crab cake there. They don't have a crab cake at Amici's, but we're going to be there anyway 2 weeks from now. Also going to be at Costas on the 18th, Faithley's on the 12th. Thursday, we're at Gertrude's in the BMA. I'm going to get artistic with Dan Rodrigues today. I'm learning about Telltale Dark with Zeke's. Thomas Rhodes is our guest. Ricig is our co-host as well. And so if I like Jamaican coffee,
Yes.
and I like, let's say, Costa Rican or something like that, like when I've tried coffees from other parts of the world, I think I have a profile that is more Central American than
me.
it is Indonesian or African.
Yes.
The African stuff tastes like dirt to me a little bit. It has an earthy quality to it, I think.
I mean, I wouldn't say that. Most of the African coffees we carry, excuse me, are sweeter.
Sweeter.
Because of the process I told you about. The fertilization.
I don't understand science. I mean, come on, I'm just drinking coffee.
They're putting the leftovers of the product back in the soil.
To refertilize the soil.
Yeah, so it becomes a little sweeter. And also there's processes that can make coffee sweeter. One, you can have the palm civet eat it. And when the palm civet eats it, it digests, and the digestive juices ferment
We're
the
in a
coffee.
restaurant. Let's not talk about this here. Don't do this in front of Marcelo. Yeah,
Right.
it sort of squirts it out. See.
Did you ever see it?
No, I don't want to see it. You offered it last time I saw it. I avoided you for 15 years because of this.
It looks like a Baby Ruth bar.
I thought you were a weirdo, and then I meet you now,
the
and I'm
thing they
thinking
u-
he might be weird, but he's got
Like
good
the,
coffee.
like the thing
you
they
know,
used in
so-
the Rodney Dangerfield movie.
That was a Baby Ruth.
We're in a restaurant. Nobody's eating here. Tell everybody what. Go ahead. Tell them what a civet.
So-
a civet is a creature. It's like a little, almost like a monkey, right? A little bit.
Rat, monkey, squirrel type
Combo.
of something.
It's a creature.
It's from
Cute.
Sumatra mostly, and then that Indonesia.
Okay.
And it literally, so it's nocturnal, and it buys it shops at night.
Kopi Luwak, also known as civet coffee, is a coffee that consists of partially digested. You paying attention to this, Ricig?
I am.
Coffee
trying
cherries,
not
which
to.
have been eaten, and the word begins with a DEFECATED.
Poop.
Yeah, stool. Let's go with a better word.
Doesn't
all
it
right?
look like a payday? I probably ruined paydays for you.
Dude.
Now.
Anybody that wants to get grossed out if you're driving around, Google KOPILUWAK and realize this guy here at Zeke's is out of his mind. Now, but this is apparently like the filet mignon of the coffee world, right?
Yes.
This is the Chateaubriand.
So these animals are nocturnal. They're blind, and they go through the
Oh, poor little guys.
the orchards, and they.
Now you make me want to eat their poop.
You don't eat it.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, you're-
all right, go ahead. Oh, you're not on. I'm going to put you on. Why don't
There
you
you go.
grab a chair and come over here so you're not.
Okay.
Right.
Come, jump in here next
All
to
right,
Ricig.
hold on, hold on, hold on.
I'm trying to get. Go ahead. Keep telling me the story about the civet.
So
More about Mars later.
So it can't see. So it eats the ripest cherries on the tree by smell.
Okay.
So you can't.
So it's only going to eat the really ripe ones.
And you can't force feed them. They won't eat them until they're the right. You can't do this in a cage. And people try, but it's not legit. They put logs in the orchards. For some reason, these animals like to go on the log. That's how they harvest it. Because it's all sort of.
Who comes up with this?
I have no idea, but
Who thought this was an
Really?
idea?
Whoever ate the first oyster?
No, a
Good
very brave
point.
man is what I would say.
That
Right,
is
exactly.
a great point,
I mean,
Marcy.
if I were a farmer of coffee and I saw that, I'd be like, well, there's my product that creature ate. I wonder what it's like. I would have been curious, I think.
Wow.
Because
Well, you're in a different part of Indonesia than me at this
Yeah.
point. I probably have been at Bali on the beach.
Have
Oh,
you seen the movie that this was in?
bucket list.
The Bucket List. Have you seen The Bucket List?
No.
Oh, it's a great movie. Jack Nicholson.
And what's his
And-
name?
Morgan Freeman.
Morgan Freeman.
Morgan Freeman.
They drink
Oh.
this coffee, and that's what
Yes,
makes it. Okay.
you have to. You have to.
Do
See
you,
the
do you
movie.
stock this coffee all the time?
No, we lost our provider. We have Zeke's DC. I don't know if you're familiar with that, but my nephew runs 3 shops down there now, and he roasts his own down there.
Okay.
And we were doing the event, and we sort of got, for lack of a better word, attacked by some.
Animal activists. No?
Yeah.
But you weren't hurting the civets, right?
No, and that's the thing.
They're just pooping.
We got a letter from him, and then I forwarded that letter to my lawyer. My lawyer's, he responded that we buy properly sourced, humanely sourced coffee. It's not in a cage. They are free range. And the guy on the other side said, yeah, well, other people are doing it, so we're going to protest you. And then, of course, I'll tell you this.
Is the coffee any good?
Yes, it's the best coffee I've ever had.
It's supposed to be the best coffee in the world. If you watch the movie, you'll find out.
So
Right.
all coffee's
We
fermented.
went to your event.
Yeah.
You had that event.
What makes
That
it
was really
good?
cool.
Okay, so all
Since you've had it, I haven't.
all coffee is fermented.
Okay.
One way or the other. Sometimes they let coffee just rot, the cherry meat rot, and that's a fermentation process.
Mm-hmm.
Most people do it in water for a day or two. They just let it sit, and it mellows it out a little
Okay.
bit. This stomach thing that the animal has is the best way to do it, and it's fast. It's only a day process, or even that. When I first drank it, I was doing this because I was thinking about a cat box because I just couldn't get it out of my head. But I finally drank it, and I'm like, oh. And I'm like, did I put cream in that? It was so smooth. I didn't put cream in it. I don't put
You
cream in
don't
my
need
coffee.
anything in it.
You don't. It was insane. We'll try to find it again because we're
I just remember it was a story that
It looks
Zeke's
like a
was known for this.
marsupial. Is that-
Yeah,
It's
it's
a
like
marsupial.
they're cute little guys. Yeah. And nobody's hurting them. That's the good news. So. Oh well, yeah, they had some problems with that as well.
Yes.
Thomas Rhodes is here. Ricig is here. Marcy's here. The Hollies. Let's talk about the neighborhood a little bit because I asked him if he knew you, and you're like, yeah, I serve the coffee, and you've been here 40 years. You've been here almost 20 years on the same block in this community, and you live in the community. We had, this is a community. People stay and they don't leave.
Well, let me just say, the Koco's and Zeke's are 2 of the great gathering places in our neighborhood right here. They're probably the 2 greatest.
Anchors.
The 2 greatest.
Yeah, we're the anchors.
Yeah, the 2 greatest really in the neighborhood, and they're both places that are welcoming to everyone with great product too. So I encourage everyone in the neighborhood and not in the neighborhood to get over here and get in on it.
You got the best crab cakes in town, no doubt.
Without doubt.
And then the best coffee in
And
town.
you got the best coffee in town.
17 years,
Absolutely.
Baltimore's best in a row,
So you actually, when I came in, and she's like, "Do I know Thomas? I have my own blend. There's a logo
That is
on
very
it."
status,
Like,
yeah.
I mean, that's kind of pimpy, right? I mean,
Yeah.
when I'm thinking about
Do
that,
you have your own brand crab cakes then at Zeke's? No, you haven't done that yet.
No, but what is it? What are you doing, Marcy?
What are we doing?
Come on. You told me about it earlier.
well, I have a whole list of.
What are we talking about?
All the stuff
the
that's going
coffee.
on.
Yeah, so we're going to start carrying some of the coffee here.
The coffee burger.
Oh, the coffee
Brunch.
burger. Sorry. So
What?
at the brunch this coming Saturday,
The one with the real Santa.
we are doing a coffee burger.
Which might carry over.
I'm sure.
What-
At
so
least
what is
to
this, a
our-
rub?
To
We're
our
rubbing? What are we doing?
Burger special night. They're doing a rub, coffee rub.
I
burger.
love
Yes.
coffee rub steaks.
Not to plug anyone else, but Blue Pit, we partner with them. We
It's a
sell them
barbecue
coffee.
joint. Sure, okay.
Okay.
And they do
They're
the
in
Zeke's.
Hamden, right?
Yeah, and they do the Zeke's I can't remember what their meat product is, and then they do the rub and they sell it. We sell it.
I had a coffee rub recipe steak like 15 years ago.
So good.
And it's one of my favorite things to like. I'd use an espresso roast when I do that. Is that right? Or
No,
what would you use for a rub?
I would use a dark roast. There's no such thing as an espresso roast.
Okay.
Espresso generally is not dark.
Okay.
There's no such thing as an espresso bean.
Okay.
They're all coffee beans.
Okay.
The difference is you build a blend, like our 1812 blend that we use for espresso is a 5-bean blend, and we do it for all different reasons. One,
Is it more concentrated?
well, the brew process is it's fine and it's a little bitter, but we use Monsoon Malabar. This is a coffee from India, and essentially they have these big warehouses, and during the monsoon season they open the sides up and they let the monsoon wash the beans. And
wow.
They sort of rot. They get bigger, but they make crema really nicely for our blend. It's so much fun to do. I just don't.
Well,
do
it's a
it.
whole world. It's like when I talk about beers and like, why do you brew an IPA, or why is this a stout, or why is this an ale, or whatever.
Yeah.
I just think the science of it. And it's so specialized that you can be a fan of it and say, I want to taste it, but I'm never going to be a guy roasting it. You know,
Yeah.
that is still a very
You can.
okay, but you're going to do it better,
Zeke's and
though.
they'll teach you how
Would
to
be
do it,
like
right?
me.
Don't
Listen,
you do that? Don't you do like a
we're going to bring something back.
educational
Yeah.
thing?
but I mean, I can go right now to Safeway and buy crab meat and go home and make a crab cake. It ain't going to be yours. You
It's
know what I
not.
mean?
No.
Right. I mean, it's just not. And
But you can buy specialty grade coffee from Sweet Maria's online, and if you have a West Bend hot air popcorn popper, you can roast it on your porch. Because let me give you this story. We have Civets roasters, not the animal. Just
Okay.
happens to be Michael Civets from Corvallis, Oregon.
That's amazing coincidence. Go ahead.
He designed a fluid bed roaster, which 95% of the roasters are drum, and they spin over.
I've seen those before, right?
It's mostly what everybody uses.
Right.
So they spin over the heat source, where the heat source, it's a teardrop. Our chamber's a teardrop, and the flame from our burner goes through the air handler wheel. Essentially, it's built off of the Granger shelf and shot up into the chamber. So the heat is what agitates the beans. So it's cleaner. You know what chaff is?
No.
Chaff is like the peanut skin,
Right. Okay.
but that comes off. In drum roasters, they burn it off, which I think there's not much difference between drum and air roasted. I mean, I like air roasted better, but they have to let the chaff disintegrate, where ours goes out right away.
So you really do have a different process than the way most of
Absolutely.
it's done.
And one time, when you're, if you, let's say you make it to a Friday table, we'll run down and I'll show you.
Okay.
It's pretty damn cool.
I'm going to make it to a Friday table. Ricig is here. He's been my lifer friend, our artist and cartoonist to the stars, and has been inviting me for years. Not years, but a couple since
I've
the
only
pandemic.
been doing it for a year.
Yeah,
you know,
but it feels like if you've been inviting me for
A year.
a
yeah,
year.
a year.
I met Ricig a year ago.
Thomas was.
It feels like
Calling your name.
you've been coming here for like a couple of years. I've been doing the show here, and you're always like, you got to come to Zeke's. You got to come to Zeke's. So I brought Zeke's to here.
I think
There
it's
you
great.
go.
I think
That's awesome.
It's really
And there's
fun.
not even a real Zeke. It turns out it's a Tom, not a Zeke.
I love that story. Yeah, it's all good.
That was all of my brothers and sisters.
Well,
Yeah, that's
I
good.
will get up to your place for some breakfast. I come down to Laurelville all the time. Marcella's here. We're doing a Santa here on Saturday. We're having all sorts of shopping things going on here as well.
And
you can ship
get
crab
a coffee
cakes.
rub burger from Zeke's
Or a cup of coffee.
or a cup of coffee.
With your coffee rub burger.
Yes, absolutely.
The coffee rub burger really sounds like not a lot of people are doing that. And
Yeah,
they should.
we were just
it's
on.
delicious.
We were on Sunday brunch segment this past Sunday.
What channel?
On WBAL.
Okay.
And
Making that?
They talked about
Okay.
it, talked about serving it this Sunday. So it was a really nice piece. So you should try to go listen to it. They gave you a lot of good promo.
What's Peabody did? We did a collaboration with Peabody.
Oh, Peabody
Beer-
Brewery.
Mr.
yeah.
Brewery.
Mr. Trash Reel beer.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
So
I
we-
love Mr. Trash Wheel.
We did we do an ongoing fundraiser. We do it for WETA. We do it for we have a bunch that we donate $1 per bag, but for every pound of Mr. Trash Wheel you buy, we give $1 to Mr. Trash Wheel.
Oh, that's wonderful.
And then they reached
Great.
out to the Peabody reached out to the two of us, and we did a beer.
Nice.
But unfortunately, it's
Is
like
it a coffee stout or like?
It's,
No?
I think it's a coffee.
I love coffee stouts too. I love coffee. I mean, I do. So
We can tell.
Yeah.
He says he
I'm
drinks,
not a coffee guy, by the way.
He said
Oh,
Did you serve me full test?
It's full tilt.
Oh, jeez.
Yes.
I
My
didn't give
poor
you-
wife when I get out of here tonight. You know how this is
right.
going. Tell everybody about shipping crab cakes, Marcella, because we talked about it a couple hours ago when we got here. But the cutoff is not December 23rd. Don't be
No.
calling her and saying, I want to ship crab cakes to California tomorrow. A little bit of planning goes a long way.
Yes.
But if you're in the neighborhood, they can certainly stop by and buy crab cakes at the door on the 21st,
Absolutely.
22nd.
We
Yeah, I mean,
sell-
leading
we
up to
sell the
Christmas
crab
in the
cakes
area, right here at the door, you come in and grab and go.
Yeah.
And you love that.
Yes, we sell uncooked crab cakes every day. A lot of people come and get them, especially if they're traveling.
That's how I like to do it.
Yeah. And then if you're having a party, you can reshape them
That's
into
what I do.
smaller size and to serve more people.
See, I thought you would think that's blasphemous to reshape the 11-ounce crab cake.
She's a smart
No,
woman.
as long as I don't have to do the reshaping.
She's a smart woman.
Hey, right.
I told her I take it home, I cut it in third.
I would probably
Usually.
I would probably shape it into the
Football.
bust
Christmas
of a
tree.
famous person or
Just
something.
an artist.
We could come up with something.
Yeah.
You all ever do the Holy Cross Church down on Broadway?
No.
The Polish church?
No. What about it? I've been there.
Well, they did the Polish Thanksgiving last weekend before Thanksgiving, and I went down and got pierogi, chlupki, and all that stuff.
Kielbasa sauerkraut, doing it up right?
They sell you frozen stuff. You can do it, and then they sell fresh. And they're not plugging them, but they're doing it again. For
Well, my
December.
wife's Polish, so she'll be down there.
They're
picking
so
it
damn
up.
good-
She'll
darn
be
good.
on it. Yeah, it's damn good.
It's really
Fine,
good.
It's fine.
Yeah.
Shipping?
So yes,
Well, click away.
last day that we are shipping is the 17th of December, which is a Tuesday. So you have to have your order in by Monday, December 16th,
That's soon.
to
All
ship
right.
in time for Christmas.
Plan ahead. If you love your family and you
And
know you're going to send them Coco's
You can
crab
do it
cakes,
right
get on
now.
it.
You can go
Right, get
online
ahead of it,
and
yeah.
do it right now. The earlier, the better, because we are going to be swamped.
Yes.
Well, I hope you have a beautiful holiday.
Thank
This
you
is the
as
kickoff
well.
for me and our eggnog classic. They do have eggnog at the bar here as well as delicious margaritas. And they serve Zeke's
Yeah,
coffee
you didn't
here
get
at
any
Coco's
eggnog
Pub.
today. You love our eggnog.
I didn't turn it down. I thought when the coffee came not black, that's
Well,
going to
you said-
anger Thomas
you said
here.
Put some cream in it.
Well,
so
I
put
mean,
cream in
I
it.
heard
you
him
found
say that.
cream behind the bar. It was special
Right.
cream.
Yes.
I think I said bourbon, but I don't know if you heard it.
No, I'm not
I knew
Irish.
You still had to work,
Yes.
so.
It's still the afternoon. Ricig, happy holidays to you.
Happy
Merry
holidays
Christmas
to
to
you.
And now
Great-
you
always
got
great to
little
be here.
grandkid Ricigs. Are they running around here for Christmas? Or
We're going to be up there. They live in Brooklyn, New York, and we're going to be up there with our two identical twin boys, grandkids. So we're excited.
take it for
about that.
pizza. Forget about
Yeah,
it.
exactly.
So
exactly.
I heard a great story that when he took his wedding vows with Terry, they said, "Do you Ricig take Terry?" Is that true?
Yes.
Everyone calls him
I
Ricig.
told you that story.
Terry did
calls him Ricig.
when we were at the.
Oh, right.
there, yeah.
Right.
I've known Ricig since I was 15 years old. I'm 56.
There you
He's
go.
how
Do the math
he
on
got
that.
his name, Nasty Nestor. Do you know
Yes.
that
Oh,
story?
really?
No,
His-
that, yeah.
his children-
My not grandchildren, but my children.
Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
named it.
Short story long, because somebody in the audience doesn't know this. I lost a baseball bet with Ricig at the
Right.
paper one night. I had gone to Philadelphia, and there were a bunch of guys hit home runs off these Phillies relievers. And I said, I'll babysit your kids if you can tell me the first names of these guys. And he won the bet on the late, great, who became a friend of mine, Todd Froworth.
Todd Froworth.
Wow.
He got Todd. He got
Yeah.
Froworth.
Don't ask
right.
me that now. I would never remember.
So this is
about this
1989,
back then.
and I, as a good man, as a man of honor that I am, and you've known me to be,
Yes.
I made good on the deal to go babysit his kids. This is in 1989, in the fall of '89. So your kids were what, 7 and 8, 8
Yeah,
and 6, whatever.
that's right.
My kid was like 5. My kid's a little younger than this kid's. So I had 3 sub-10-year-old boys over on Eastwood Drive in 1989. I was 21 years old and single, and I had a date that night. And I took these kids and I said, "You're going to bed early, all of you." And when I sent them to bed early that night, they started calling me. Instead, they called me Uncle Nestor in the beginning because it was kind of funny, like you know.
Addis family.
Then they started calling me Nasty Nestor. Like,
Right.
exactly.
Sure.
Yeah.
So Nasty Nestor became my name in 1989. I got a radio show in 1991. And I'm like, "Hi, you're listening to my show. My name is Nestor." And so I just started using this nasty Nestor
Another
thing.
origin story. There it is.
So there it is.
We've got an origin story from all three of you.
Nothing
guys
as good as the
tonight.
civet
it's
bean.
really-
We're that origin.
No, that's amazing.
That's a hell of an origin story.
Incredible origin story. Yeah, yeah.
So can I plug a couple things for Zeke's?
1,000,000%. Yes.
Cool. So the holidays are coming up. We got lots of gifts and
He's got a whole
stuff.
bag of stuff. Is what he's got.
We got T-shirts you can get at the
that's
cafe.
great.
Smells like coffee.
These are evil.
Coffee scented
Cho-
T-shirts.
Chocolate.
Now this
covered-
is my
Scratch and
angle.
sniff.
Chocolate covered espresso beans. Yes. Yes.
We got all kinds of things. We're doing gift boxes. We're doing a holiday survival kit. It's going to look like it's shipped from the warehouse, but it's going to have a 6-pack of holiday beer, holiday roast, and a bag of those. So
Everything you need to get through the first snowstorm.
sure.
Or at least through Christmas.
Or wrapping gifts or whatever, because
Family.
this will help you wrap gifts. Wrap gifts. We have normal, like other gift baskets with travel mugs and tea. And you can build your own, is essentially what I'm saying.
How amped up would I be if I ate chocolate covered espresso beans?
If you stick around 4, you'll be good.
I mean, I
The
love
chop-
coffee.
the
I don't
chop-
love what it does to me.
What if you eat that
You know
whole
what I mean?
bag of those?
I made the mistake when we first did this. These are our beans that we send up
Okay.
to Copper's Chocolate, who invented the chocolate-covered coffee bean.
Wow.
Dark chocolate by Copper's Chocolatiers of New York City.
Yeah, that chocolate is it's 11-1 is what we chose on the ratio. But when they first came in, we had a half a pallet. I'm like, woo! And it was 6 o'clock. We were wrapping up, and I started to eat them.
I gotta
Next
get
thing you
that.
know, it's 3 a.m.
I couldn't sleep.
I gotta get
drank,
that for
I
Carrie.
smoked, I could not fall asleep.
This is a pre-noon chocolate bean. is what
or
this
if
is.
you're
I gotta
or if
get
you're
that.
wrapping gifts late.
Or if you're doing the Zeke-a-thon, you just
Yeah, there
take
you
4
go.
or 5 of those, and you can make the whole. You can
Yeah.
do the whole marathon.
That's
yeah.
another thing. We got a Zeke-a-thon. We got a couple of our.
What is a Zeke-a-thon?
To me, I mean, I don't want to insult Dave or Joe, but it's a Seinfeld thing. They're just hanging out.
Okay.
They said it's a friendship thing, so I'm going to go with
Okay.
that too. But
It's just the length of the day. You know,
They
the,
sit
it's
from
a
7 to
marathon.
6.
Yeah, and so people come in and out. It really was fun last year. The
What
first
day is
time.
this you were doing this?
Friday the 13th,
Friday the 13th. Yeah.
which is followed up by we get to have Hartford Road Happy Hour that night.
oh,
which is
that's nice.
Yeah, and
That's going
earlier I
6 to
talked
9.
about the events up at the
Ho-
lot.
Yeah, the Christmas tree lighting. I can't remember. Holiday on Hartford. right?
Holidays on Hartford.
Yeah.
HolidaysOnHartford.com. I
Yes.
promoted this earlier.
Yeah,
I read it
we
off the
did all
sheet.
that earlier.
And if you want to order any of our coffees, you can go to Zeke'sCoffee.com. There's 2 options. Pick the warehouse option because that's the one that we ship pounds of coffee. The other one is our cafe, which you can pre-order your stuff and come pick up
Nice.
as you need.
As I'm going to do on the 13th for Zeke-a-thon.
Nice.
You'll
nice.
order there, I'm sure.
Yeah.
You got muffins? I'm a muffin man.
Oh, do we have muffins? So
We're gonna have signature stuff, right?
I hope we can get
Maybe.
that.
Yeah.
I hope
okay.
we can
yeah.
get that. We're running short on time.
Yes. Okay.
We have a baker in house now.
I'm a muffin
Oh,
hoe.
nice.
So
You make me a good muffin, I'll come have coffee with you.
95% of the stuff that you eat at Zeke's Coffee is scratch made in house.
Nice.
We don't make English muffins because they're a little hard to make.
Yes.
We go through so many of them, and wraps. Joe, our chef, is 2-time Baltimore best chef.
What's the best thing on your menu?
Food?
No offense to her crab cake, but the best thing here is the Koco shrimp. I mean, the shrimp are my thing here, you know.
I bet the crab cake's the best thing.
I
here.
know that, but I'm promoting the coconut shrimp.
The burger's good. I love the burger.
Burger's
I
good
love
here.
the fish and chips, too. The fish and chips are awesome here.
I haven't had the
Very
fish and
good.
chips here.
Also good.
But what do I like to eat the most? I like a breakfast sandwich, basically on wheat, sausage. He blends his own sausage.
See that?
Wow,
that's what I
that's
learned.
nice.
I get a hash brown on it and cheddar cheese.
All right, I'm coming. I'm there. I'm in for Zeke-a-thon.
Wait till
Nice.
Lucky the 13th.
wait till you see the pastry case.
Yeah, the best part is we tape this. If I come on the 13th, the Ravens can't lose between now and then.
That's good.
Can't miss any kicks. Can't have any problems. You know, I mean,
That's a great point. Yeah. Yeah.
I just don't understand. He's kicking him long enough. He's in his head.
it's in his head.
He's in his
It's
head.
in his head. It's all right.
Totally.
I've already offered, the Royal Farms commercial where he's the psychologist. I've already offered to be that psychologist for him. Yeah, that's right. Well, if he had your coffee, he'd be fine. It would
That's it. He needs the espresso.
He needs to be
beans.
fueled by Zeke's is what he needs.
There
Let's
you
go. We need something. We need him
I'm
for
And
Royal
he needs
Farms
Coco's
sponsor
crab
here.
cake.
We
Stop.
need him for the playoffs, man. We just need
That's
him for
what
the
we need.
playoffs. Yeah.
That's what we
Hey,
need.
look, thanks for coming by, and thanks for
Yes.
all you did for me
Yeah.
years ago. I don't know that I've ever said thanks, but you guys would come out and make coffee for our listeners on our trips as a getaway. Everybody had to pee when they got on the bus, but that's another story.
You had a
Might have been the beer. Might have been the beer.
Or the Chick-fil-A. I remember
That was there too. Usually in the mornings too. Those little biscuits. Mars is here. We are here in the place we love to come. It's Koco's. We have begun our holiday trek here. I'm going to try to not gain too much weight, drink too much coffee, eat too much holiday goodies. Guys handed me chocolate. Dara Bungeon came by and made me biscotti to go home with my coffee. Mars is going to send me out of here with crab cakes. You recommend for me Royal Blue is the blend I'm going to like?
If you say you like Italian roast and stuff, you can drink this. That's the darkest we have.
All right.
But this is my favorite.
Now, is it true that dark coffee has less caffeine?
It is true.
Okay, so that's what I need to stick with because caffeine makes me totally
I like
crazy.
it. It's richer and smokier. I sort of, it's
more coffee-ish.
Well, I mean, I'm going to say no to that a little bit because I think like the lighter roasts that are from Central America are what I smelled when my mom was making 8 o'clock coffee.
But I can never make them taste rich enough for me. I can never make like that lighter roast. I can use 5 times the amount of beans, less water.
Filtered water.
Proper
brewing, proper grind, fresh
It's too
grind.
thin for me. It's not.
You can do it. I have faith in you, Nestor. How do you brew your coffee? What's your machine?
Cuisinart.
Okay, so when you stop at Zeke-a-thon at Zeke's Coffee on Friday the 13th.
There we go. Lucky.
Grab a Melita single cup brewer and a small pack of number 2 filters and play with it. You'll make and as soon as that tea kettle makes its noise, start brewing. You'll see what I'm talking about.
If he only knew that I wake up every morning at like 3 a.m. and it's like
Nestor,
the lights are out, my wife's asleep, sometimes the kitty's asleep between my legs, and I leave her there. And I go down, and it's my little thing, you know.
In the morning,
grind it.
Everybody wakes up.
Grind it, and then
you got to get a better grinder.
Nice and quiet, for my wife. Put it in there, and then I hear beep, 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 and that means, and I hear, and I know it's done.
Good sound effects.
And then about 3:28 in the morning.
Can you imagine what time I get up in the coffee industry?
I don't know. You probably don't sleep, dude.
No, I sleep. Yeah. I love sleeping.
I'm a sleeper, too.
Your next investment will be a Burr coffee grinder instead of a spice mill.
You're going to make me bougie. You're going to make me – I'm going to lose my Dundalk card if I keep this up.
You can keep it. Dundalk people can drink good coffee.
Oh, I'm allowed. Royal Blue or the Gunpowder Espresso Italian Roast. One of these is going to be renamed the Nasty Nestor Blend once I figure it out. Thomas Rhodes is here. Ricig is my co-host. Marcella is here. All of her group here. Eric, Liz, Baz. Everybody's been running around here today treating people right for the holidays. Come on in. You tell me it's going to be a winter wonderland in here on Saturday. The real Santa.
The real Santa's going to be here Saturday. It is so much fun. You really should come by. It's not just for kids. The bar will be open.
Rest in peace, Bill.
Yes. Rest in peace, Bill.
I miss our old Santa.
Our old Santa
he passed
that
away
used
this year.
go around the neighborhood dressed as Santa for all the events.
He also looked like Jerry Garcia.
Yeah. What a wonderful life it is for anyone who plays the role of Santa, right?
He did a great job on his sidecar. Yeah. He would drive his sidecar, and his wife dressed up as an elf. They were badass.
Yeah, I used to say this to Billick all the time as my partner when he partnered with us 15 years ago. I would go out with him like 2-3 times a year, and we'd walk places like Koco's was a sponsor. We would stop by middle of the day, take a picture, go in the kitchen, do all that. It was like being with Santa Claus.
Yeah.
Whenever I was with him,
I would think
because he's 6'7",
right?
And he was so famous, and he's so good with everyone always. But I would always say to him, we'd get in the car somewhere because we would just stop to pee somewhere. We'd just be out on the road and like, hey, I got to go to the bathroom. We'd stop, go in. Hey, coach. Hey, coach. And I'm like, it's like being with Santa Claus hanging out because people see him and they would just smile. They would.
I wish I could have tagged along with him because I enjoyed him so much.
Oh, he's such a good man.
As a cartoonist, I really enjoyed him.
Oh my God, he
was great to draw and great, interesting coach. Yeah. So, yeah.
You could draw Harbaugh for however long he's here. He's got a job for life, apparently, right?
Apparently, yeah.
On next week's program, we'll talk football. Okay. I love being here at Koco's. I love giving out our Raven scratch-offs. I'm going to give them to everyone in the bar. We're going to be at Gertrude's at the BMA on Thursday. We're going to be at Fadley's at Lexington Market next Wednesday. Matt Gallagher's signed up to be a victim on that show. On Tuesday the 17th, we're at Amici's a Little Italy. They don't have a crab cake, but we're going to make it up. We're going to get a Pane Rotondo.
Stop in there on
Please.
Tuesday. I live down that way in Amici.
We're going to be at Amici's on the 17th.
I've never been in there.
Oh, it's so good.
Oh, it's such
Oh,
a good place.
my
It's such a
goodness.
good restaurant. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
They make the best chicken parm, if you ask me.
Okay.
thank
Tuesday
you for
the
saying
17th.
that. I would
In
say
the
this.
daytime, same time.
I pimp your coconut shrimp. And Dara Bungeon, I want to give her some love because she came on. She's the food enthusiast from J Moore. She spent an hour here talking about her corn pudding that she added to my Thanksgiving. The whole notion of like doing this and talking about food and getting people together. She said to me, I didn't know her until she sat down next to me a little while ago, but she was texting me yesterday, and I said to her, the coconut shrimp, have you ever had it? 'Cause she loves your crab cake. And she said, no, I haven't. I said, it's top 5 thing in the city that you don't know about that you need to get. And she's like, ooh, she's a foodie. She's like, do tell, whatever else. I would say, if I'm making a list of things, the meatball at Amici's, if you get the meatballs appetizer, and you get the bread, the cheese bread that's in the oven, and you put the meatball on the bread. I call that the Nasty Nester sandwich because it's not on their menu. You got to order the cheese bread and then order the meatballs and put it together like a meatball sub.
Right.
And it has something to do with the garlic toast and the cheese with the meatball.
Okay.
That's a winner.
I haven't eaten lunch
And I would
yet.
say the other, if I top 5, the number one thing in the city for me, no offense to you or any crab cake or anything else, the tempura broccoli at Ekabin is
that's
my
amazing.
favorite thing.
That is also great.
Like that is a top
I've tried
5.
that since
it's in my top.
That's
10.
awesome.
you mentioned it. It is delicious.
So the coconut shrimp to me is one of those things, but the meatball to Michi's, and listen, the chicken parm, the Pani Rotundo is their crab cake, right? Everybody gets that. That's their thing. It's a shrimp scampi in a bread bowl. Phenomenal. Everybody will get that. Get the meatballs. Don't sleep on the red sauce at Amici's. So
Maybe I'll see you
There you
there.
go.
I got to come up with the next 2 things. I think the burrito quesadilla at Nacho Mama's in Towson, whoo, that's good. So I'm just trying to think of things I love.
This is the season for either Mastalone's or Di Pasquale's meatball sub.
Of course.
Oh yeah,
That's a killer.
Yeah.
that is
That's
a
a
killer.
napper.
I like that.
It's-
Sunday,
It is.
Saturday afternoon watching
Another
football and
The
sleep.
thing
Another
I love
in
about
the
saying all
hood
this,
place.
these are
The
all
single
local
sandwich
businesses.
is big enough for like a party. It's cute.
I
It's
used to
literally
eat
like
it.
this big.
I used to eat it by myself.
Oh my
I can't do it anymore. I used to eat what I'm getting for dinner by myself. I can't do it.
Yeah, I know.
I just can't eat as much anymore.
I know you expected me to plug the meatballs at IKEA, but I'm not going to do that.
My son loves them.
All right, buy local, shop
right.
local, get at the Cocos, come by, see the parrots, and have a margarita and have some spiked eggnog with Marcella. I am Nestor. My thanks to Ricig, who left his wife at home because she froze here the last time. But I really need to talk about.
Oh, I didn't know.
No, it's only no.
I know.
Please.
I'm the only one that's cold around here. Everyone else says it's too hot in here, and if I turn the heat up, I get yelled
My
at. And I own the
wife,
place.
you can't. if it was 75 in here, it would be too cold for Terry. So
I am the biggest wimp on a 25-degree day you've ever seen in your life.
I'm sitting here freezing now. Feel my
Thomas
hands.
was at the Penn
I'm
State game in
freezing.
15-degree weather last week.
Oh,
Wind chill 15.
I
With
did
the-
forget to give you our website for shipping.
Go ahead.
We talked about it.
What is
but It is cocospub.com. Click on the shipping, and it'll take you right to our shipping section where you can place your order. Super easy. We also now have shipping gift cards, so you can purchase a gift card for crab cakes if you want to, send crab cakes to someone, but you don't know when they're going to be home. You can purchase a gift card.
We went through this earlier.
Yeah.
When you ship crab cakes, it's not a surprise. You have
Right.
to tell the people
So
they're coming.
now you can get
Yes.
a gift card,
Yeah.
right? And they can
Your
get a
story.
gift card
And just place the order.
and then place the order right through the website with that shipping gift card.
And then you can eat them on Valentine's Day if you want, or eat them whenever get them fresh
Exactly.
when you want 'em.
Yeah.
Right.
And when you're done ordering your crab cakes, you can go to Zeke'sCoffee.com and order yourself a couple pounds
There you go.
for the morning.
Coffee and crab cakes.
Man, there's something brewing there.
I'm thinking about I had no idea about the coffee rubbed burger. Now you got me like Jones in
Yeah.
that. So,
You guys
all
gotta
right.
come down
I got to take a
Saturday.
break. We're going to come back, talk some football. Luke's been running around bye week. We are doing the Maryland Crab Cake Tour everywhere. It's all brought to you by our friends at the Maryland Lottery. I feel like Oprah when you get a ticket. You get a ticket. Everybody gets a free ticket. Also, our friends at Jiffy Lube Multicare. Also want to give a shout out to Curio Wellness, Far and Daughter, as well as Liberty Pure Solutions, 1-800 Clean Water, for keeping my water clean and making the holiday and spirits bright as well. Big appreciation for the Oyster Tour and what they've done for our 26th
Hold that
anniversary.
One more thing, though. We would like to offer to your listeners, if they mention WNST at the shop, a free 10-ounce cup of coffee.
Oh,
Very
man.
nice.
Dark roast?
Any light, medium, dark, or decaf?
Don't get the
Very
light roast. Get the
nice.
dark. Get real coffee if you're going to
Well,
Zeke's.
I'd love
for
to
crying
do
out.
that for a crab cake, but
But-
cost is a little bit different.
You
on
can do a
crab
pack of
cake.
crackers, maybe.
Pack of crackers.
I knew we were going to talk about that civet when you came by. I am Nestor. We are WNST AM 1570 Towson, Baltimore. We are back for more on WNST.